So we're continuing with psoas muscle releasing, hip flexor muscle releasing, and the reason why I've given so much attention to this particular muscle in the body is because it's a problem area for a lot of us, mainly because of spending so much time sitting in chairs. So this is level 2. Level 1 is on another video you'll find either on Facebook or YouTube. And the first exercise we're going to do uses two balls like this. So you can get these kind of bouncy balls at any toy store. And unlike level 1, we're going to use a bit of extra height now. The balls are going to be placed in the pelvic area like this. So the front bones of your pelvis over there, and go down just slightly from there, and this is about where the balls will be placed. So not too low down, a little bit higher up. And you're going to place yourself so that the balls go on top of a block like this, and then you lie so that the block is directly under the pelvis and the balls are in those 2 points in the crease of your front of your hip. Then lie down and try to get a little bit of length in your tailbone. So in other words, you don't want your tailbone sticking up like this. You want to have a sense of a little bit of length through the tailbone. You may feel a fair amount of resistance in that area as you do that. And then just see if you can relax there for a moment and allow the pelvis to be heavy. So I would suggest pausing your video at this point for 2 or 3 minutes, maybe longer if you can, and just allow yourself to rest in this position. Once you've rested in this position for a few minutes, and hopefully the sensation in that area will diminish somewhat, then you can try bending your knees without letting your back arch. So if you find that when you bend your knees your back does this kind of thing, then don't go as far. So try to keep the back still as you bend your knees. Do that 2 or 3 times. Bend the knees, keep the pelvis steady. And then if you're able to, on the 3rd time, either just stay like that or hold onto your ankles and lengthen the front of the thighs. Take a breath into the belly. And you can even very slightly lift the knees. Release that. Remove the balls from under the pelvis, remove the block, and turn over onto your back. So on the back, hold both knees just to release the back. Then take the block under the pelvis, hold both knees, straighten the left leg down, squeeze the left buttock. You'll notice the left knee is not completely straight. Left kneecap facing up to the ceiling. Squeeze the left buttock again. Release. Then make the left heel light. Breathe into the belly and lengthen that whole left side. Hold both knees. Extend the right leg down. Squeeze the right buttock. Relax. Squeeze the right buttock. Relax. Lengthen the right side. Now make the right heel light and breathe into the belly as you lengthen out that right side. Release. Hold both knees. Lift up the hips. And you can take your block now and just for a moment place it on a slightly higher side, like this, and press through the feet. Lift the tailbone. Take a small breath into the belly as you're lifting the tailbone. And exhale, lift the breastbone toward the chin slightly. One more time, lift the pubic bone, inhale. Exhale, lift the breastbone. Remove the block. Come down from there and hold both knees. Roll onto your side. Come up onto your hands and knees. Take the left leg forward, right leg back. Let your left knee come slightly over the left ankle. Drag your right knee a little forward without actually moving it, so this is an isometric movement. Then relax and lift the breastbone. Again, bring the ribs back slightly, pubic bone forward, inhale. Exhale, come onto the fingertips now. Take the right arm up, pubic bone forward, inhale. Exhale, reach up. Finally, take both arms up, pubic bone forward, inhale. Exhale, reach up into the fingers. Release. Take the left leg back, right leg forward. Start with the hands low. Drag the left knee forward, inhale. Exhale, lift the breastbone. Again, drag the left knee forward, inhale. Come onto the fingertips, exhale. Then take the left arm up, inhale, tailbone and pubic bone forward. Exhale, reach up. Finally, take both arms up, pubic bone forward, inhale. Exhale, reach up into both hands. Release. Take the knees apart and come down into child pose. If your head doesn't easily touch the floor, then take a block under the forehead. As you inhale, slightly lift the ribs. As you exhale, take the navel slightly forward. These are very small movements. As you inhale into the belly again, lift the ribs. As you exhale, navel forward. Come back up from there. And the last of the level 2 Psoas release, we're going to use a blanket. Take a blanket and spread it out. We'll start with the left leg. Lengthen into your left heel by lengthening the Achilles tendon and the outer ankle moves toward the inner. So, like this. Try not to let the ankle bulge out like that, because that creates a lot of tension in the knee. So, outer ankle toward the inner and length in the heel, not like that. Can be tricky to do at first. So one way of thinking about this is think of trying to straighten your left leg in this position. Then 3 choices here. Either stay like this, lengthen your tailbone, or if you're comfortably able to come onto the elbows, come onto the elbows, or if you're comfortably able to come down onto your back, come onto your back. So you'll notice my knee is slightly lifted and my pelvis is actually off the floor. And the reason for that is in order to keep length in the back. You don't want to have your back scrunching up here. Front ribs are down. As you inhale, pubic bone lifts. As you exhale, allow the front ribs to drop. And there's a feeling here of trying to straighten that left leg. So that creates an active movement here. Some action happening in the thigh. It's not a completely passive pose, this. And then release that. Switch sides. So take the right leg back. Same thing. Get a bit of length in the Achilles tendon. Outer ankle toward the inner. Tailbone forward. 3 options here. Stay like this with your hands back behind you. Second option, on the elbows. Keep length in the tailbone. Third option, down on the back. As you inhale, lift the pubic bone slightly. As you exhale, lower the front ribs. It can be helpful to let the head roll from side to side in this position. It frees up the spine, which then frees up this inner hip and psoas muscle. And again, same thing, try to feel like you're trying to straighten your right leg here, which creates some active movement into that right thigh. And then release that, come back from there, hold both knees. It's important to release the back after this kind of posture. Doing it with one leg at a time, I feel, is a lot safer than a double leg version. So don't try to do the double leg before you can comfortably do the single leg. Take both legs up into the air. Lift the tailbone slightly 2 or 3 times. Just a very small lift to lengthen the lower back. Roll onto your side and come up. So that's level 2 psoas muscle releasing. It's an interesting muscle, the psoas muscle, because it can even affect one's sleep. If we've been sitting in a chair for many hours during the day, which most of us do these days, sitting in front of the computer, you may find at some point in the night you feel pain in your back or pain in your legs, referred pain. I've had this myself a few times, and these psoas releases are very useful for helping release that tightness. So give it a try. Thank you. Namaste.